Silence. Give them to me.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like we've got some cracking chat for you today, people. Aren't you lucky? This is Hosen 14, the 14th episode of the 14th year of the 14th month of the 14th cycle. And today we're doing The Pest.
No, we're not. And you know we're not. We're going to do
I have race
everything
to
we
say,
can to kind of dance around it, but we will not talk about it. We will obligatory mention it, which we have already done. So, as far as I'm
Well,
concerned...
Damien, I'm about to prove you wrong right now. Are you ready?
All right.
I'm in the shower, see? I'm talking.
How did I know that was the line that you were going to do? Because I watched that and I had to watch it again in the credits because it was so nice. Why not do it twice? The only thing that I picked up was, yeah, you see, me, her.
Yes.
I know I can do that voice, so that's what I'm going to go with. And I know that's the only thing you're going to do as well.
Yeah, I really... I mean, I did pick up the lyrics, but I can't remember any of them. So... To the song, I've got the theme tune to Amish Paradise. Not the theme tune, the words to Amish Paradise going on. Yeah, I'm in the shower. So this movie starts and ends with John Leguizamo in the shower, which I think is awesome. I'd say about 15% of the movie is set with John in the shower.
Yes, but that's nicely bulked out thanks to the credits, which I was not expecting, but somehow not surprised either. I mean, what else are you going to do after all that?
So I
Yeah.
I just
okay. Well, if you've got nothing,
I got Damien.
Right,
I asked Damien to watch this movie about a month ago, and then we said we'll start at 8. At 7 minutes past 8, Damien messaged me and says, "What the fuck is this movie?"
I'm pretty
so
early
you're
on
fresh
at that
from
point.
it, Damien. So tell us, what's The Pest about?
It's The Pest, or ADHD the movie. It's about John Leguizamo. I don't know, trying his hand at some kind of Jim Carrey slapstick spiel, but with all the grace and nuance of who knows what. I've just got the, because I've still got it up on Amazon. I've looked, I put the reviews up, and the first one is it summed it up for me. This movie is
You're
pretty
not going to read
funny.
someone else's review to me, are you, Damien?
I'm halfway through. Now I have to start again.
Oh.
This movie is pretty funny, but racially insensitive. 3 stars.
I mean, I would actually say it's very racially sensitive. It knows just what to do with everything, doesn't it?
Yep. It's got it's got all the stereotypes there. I was kind of flabbergasted. It's overwhelming. I mean, nothing comes off in particularly bad blood. It's very juvenile.
Yes. It's not malicious, but it's definitely racist.
Oh man,
I mean, we're talking like squinty-eyed, like race. That's an Asian person, sort of thing.
Well, to his credit, he did.
Lucky Charms, he says to a fucking priest with an Irish accent.
He stopped short of actually pulling his eyelids, out, to kind of slant them. So I'll give him credit for that one. But
I mean, what I will say is that, as racist as it is, he actually does make quite a good stereotypical Asian man. I mean, very stereotypical, caricature of one. But I thought that was his best accent. I thought his German accent, when he started doing a German accent, it's like, why is he talking about Indian people now? Like, when you talk like this, it kind of sounds like German, but I don't know what he was saying. So
Luftwaffe
sausage
ball.
you miserable bandicoot. Luftwaffe sausage ball. Yeah, I mean, I like it. I like The Pest. I would watch The Pest again before I watched another long... Look, okay, I'll tell you what. Once Upon a Time in America, Sergio Leone's masterpiece, 4 hours long. It is a beautiful movie. Genuinely, it is a really good movie. It is emotional and considerate. I would rather watch The Pest. I would have to sit down and watch. I mean, not any time, but I would have to sit down and carefully watch Once Upon a Time in America and give it my full, undivided attention, and it would take energy away from me to do that.
Oh yeah, of
because
course.
I would want to watch it properly. Whereas this is just, shit.
Oh, I don't. Well, I mean, yes, but what? I'm loath to say it, but I would watch this again. But like I said, I think.
Yeah, but with me at gunpoint.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely have to be in the
Woodpecker
room,
Damien.
but I think so. I mean, that was the fucking killer as well. Just before it cuts the credits and it puts up the little, puts up the title again as they're all driving away. He signs it off with that Woody Woodpecker laugh, and
Like that.
I still don't know. I mean, I'm fresh off it. I'm kind of overwhelmed, so my memories haven't kind of crystallized yet. I don't really know quite what happened.
What a sentence you just said. I just watched it, so I can't remember it.
Yep. Oh, how did you feel after that?
Invigorated. Although I do wonder, where did they get those Orthodox Jew outfits from? I mean, there's no logic, and it knows that. There's a bit where, I mean, we need to tell the listener the story, but before that, there's a bit where Pest is escaping from the island where he is being hunted. A bird shits in his captor's eye, and he just jumps into Miami Bay, like a mile away from the fucking shoreline.
I turned
And,
away from the screen for like 10 seconds because that's new to me. I know he suddenly appeared at Miami Beach and he's like, God damn. Because I last saw him on a boat, puking his guts up, and then he's just like climbing out of a swimming pool saying, I'll never swim again. Like, okay.
And the funny thing is the boat scene is in the middle of the day, and then when he's climbing out, he swims straight to his friend's party. It's night.
It's very convenient that they had the party on the shore like
it's
that.
implied that he's been swimming for like 6 hours. So it's kind of like this film is bonkers, but also that bit's kind of realistic. Bravo, sir. I tell you what, it endeared me to John Leguizamo. I know that this is rubbish and everything. I mean, God, some of the accents he was doing were just like fucking out there and crazy. But he's got great timing.
I couldn't.
All right, no, disagree.
Well, I don't know because
I didn't
hitting
watch
the
it,
right
George.
beat. He had kind of like a shotgun approach. There's obviously the right time to say something, but since he never shut up, he by virtue obviously he said the funny thing at the right time because he was always saying things. There's obviously a lot. 95% of it was also terrible timing, but obviously there's a couple of moments that were going to be crackers by virtue of not shutting up.
So you're saying it's like the equivalent of a cop saying, "Yeah, we apprehended the suspect," and then you're the coroner. You get his car in, and it's just full of bullet holes. Yeah, you did.
I'm a great shot. What can I say?
Yeah. All I need is 240 rounds of ammunition. We're good to go.
Yeah, that's. It's an interesting performance. I guess it to do something like
Is
that.
it a performance? I get the sense that this is what John Leguizamo was just like. Film me.
I don't know. I see him as an older man and things that he's kind of popped up in recently. I couldn't remember what, but it's obviously a lot more kind of, for lack of a better word, mature because it's not that.
Well, yeah,
he's
he's
just
gotta be,
older.
like, at least 50, hasn't he?
Yeah, and he's just obviously a lot more tired and slowed down. But this dude is just firing. It's. I don't want to say electric, but my God, the energy.
Yeah.
And
the energy.
There's almost an admiration for it because I know that, I mean, I could read the lines out, but I couldn't fucking blast them out like that relentlessly and do pratfalls at the same time and mug to the camera and whatever the fuck is going on with his eyebrows in that movie.
Yes. I'm glad that they put on sound effects for his eyebrows, otherwise I might have missed it. What's the plot?
The plot is that Pest Vargas is apparently a con man, which doesn't really have any bearing on the plot whatsoever. He could have just been
he's
a
also apparently
hyperactive Pratt, and that would have
delivery
been
boy.
fine.
Yeah.
And Jeffrey Jones
Well, no,
is
no, it does make sense, Damien, because the reason
that's why he has all the
maybe
wigs and the accents.
he says in his song at the beginning, like, "I'm a master of disguise. I'm into
Scamming like a
Pennywise."
motherfucker.
Yeah, scamming like a motherfucker. Eyes. Here's some Asian eyes. don't.
And look, the music's gone Egyptian, so now I do the Egyptian thing with my hands.
No. Because that's Egyptian.
That's the only thing that makes Egypt
I think-
Egypt. They all
I think
do that
him being
there,
a scam
don't you know?
artist is... They're trying to put in a motive for him taking the offer, right? Like, oh, he owes the Scottish mafia 50 grand.
Yeah, so he's obviously been playing. Apparently, he's running numbers out of a Chinese restaurant as a Chinese waiter, and somehow
Running numbers? What, you mean like, I'll have an 88, please?
I have no
you want
idea.
that
They
with
just
beef or
that's the
chicken?
line in the movie. I presume it's taking bets and what have you, right? And then he's obviously he's gotten in deep with, for some reason, a Scottish mafia, because I guess he didn't have his Scottish impression down, so we'll have someone else be that stereotype. Because they're
He
all
did a
there
Scottish
with-
impression, though, didn't he?
No, it's a weird. Well, he didn't do a Scottish impression. He did a Scotty impression, and that was it.
You think Scotty wasn't really Scottish. Not my Scotland.
I
Yeah,
can't
you're
do it,
right.
Captain.
Yeah, there's no Scottish person who'd ever say that. They could squeeze everything out of those dilithium crystals if they wanted. Don't worry, Captain. Oh, I'll give you as much power as you fucking need. And I'll let you just do some blowing in the doors. I want to see... I mean, did we ever see in Star Trek the dilithium crystals? Because I would like a shot where he's putting dilithium crystals into the furnace and it's just kittens on a shovel.
Yeah, we tell them this because the Captain gets very upset.
Yeah.
Data hasn't been spotted in a long time now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. You know the cat's name in Next Gen.
Of course I do.
And that cat's name was Data.
Of course.
Um,
and the Cat Man. And Data was a tiny little pet robot.
So the plot is very simple.
Yeah, sorry, we
Pest
didn't
Star-
address it. Jeffrey
No,
Jones is an eccentric German millionaire who hunts people. A game hunter that's bored of murdering
Game?
every manner of animal on the planet has turned his attention to humans. And has apparently made a point of slaughtering a human of every ethnicity and racial creed. But the
Yeah.
only thing left was, was Latinus spicatus or something like that. Oh,
Yeah, Spicticus, which is on the wall. That's not us saying it. Which again, you know, it is very racist. It doesn't seem at all malicious, but they wouldn't make this today. But he goes after Latins and...
yeah, but all right. So the reason they're
Yeah.
going after him because there's a mix-up. He's John Leguizamo is in the middle of a con pretending to be blind, and Jeffrey Jones picks out his new mark and he hands it to his assistant. These pair of binoculars, like it's that guy. The guy he's looking at is this athletic dude, and it's like, okay, that's good prey or whatever. And hands the binoculars over. He's fucked off. He looks through. He sees John Leguizamo. It's like, really? Okay, fine, make it happen. But yeah, Jeffrey Jones's reasoning is that he's after Latino prey, but the guy that he originally marked was just a
was
white
white.
American, you know. It was a kind of
Yeah.
retcon. It's not a retcon at all. It's they've ignored that like 5 minutes later. But okay, fine. But there's no going back. They've already lured him to the mansion because they've discovered that he is a delivery driver of Chinese food. So they've ordered a takeout, and John Leguizamo turns up at the mansion and promptly just break stuff. Well,
Rides around with a full-length halberd like it's a hobby horse. All sorts of things like that. No, I mean you're right. They pick this actually athletic-looking dude who I guess is Latin. I don't know, whatever. But they pick him. They accidentally pick Pest, and then Jeffrey Jones is like, "Well, I wanted someone athletic who's going to be a challenge." And then he meets Pest, and immediately he says,
like, "I've got to kill
it,
this
I
guy.
will hunt this bitch."
His assistant's like, "Oh, but he's a con man, so he'll be wily. It's clever." And it's like, "No, this was a fuck up, dude. But try and talk your way out of it. Sure. Your boss is not happy."
Yeah, typical German "let's do it anyway" attitude. Hitler didn't say invade Russia. He said rush her. Rush her. But we're doing it now, so better get to Moscow. Yeah, the story is basically Jeffrey Jones offers Pest 50 grand if Pest will let him hunt him. Pest, as it happens, owes 50 grand to the Scottish mob for, I suppose, undisclosed reasons. And that's pretty much it. Pest takes it, and then the hunt ensues.
He doesn't realize it's a hunt at first, and then he realizes it's legit, and he goes, "Yeah, man." Runs away and shits himself. And then, yeah, just pratfalls, and then, I don't know, somehow gets away with it.
Also,
It's
there's
the
a bit
movie,
outside of a nightclub where they kill 3 people with the sound system.
With the awesome power of bass. Actually, alright, I quite liked that, because they had this... So, I don't know how you describe it.
Yeah.
So they have the sequence where you've got Pest and his buddy in their car, and they turn up at this club. They're trying to get in, and it's a private party, and very convenient after the events. They just find that they have tickets, and apparently that's enough to get them in. But see, these guys are painted villains because they start doing racist shit, and Pest is upset at that because that's racist. So they have like a boombox.
What do they do? What do they do that's racist? Did it? I can't remember.
I think they do a Latino impression, and it's like, oh wait, that's the fucking line, guys. All right, you can't do that.
Can you do an impression of just a general Latino, like not a Mexican, not a Guatemalan, just a general Latino? Can you do an impression?
I don't know. I mean, I've never tried.
Do you want to hear mine?
Okay.
Do you want a burrito?
Tell me what your wishes with your taco flavored kisses. Taco burrito. All right.
Now that's gonna be on my mind all day.
I'm terribly sorry. Yeah. So all right. So they as opposed to a physical altercation, they apparently need to flex their sound systems in their car. So the white boys, because they're white boys, they have to play rock and roll. And
but not the Joan Jett version.
No, they have a delightful royalty-free version. It's another thing that I noticed in the first 10 minutes. There was a lot of
no, it can't be royalty-free.
No, well, I mean that would have been
cheaper version. Cheaper, yeah.
But they had they obviously they did.
I'm a man of the land. I'm into discipline. I'm here in the shower and I'm just doing a thing.
Well, all that was basically like the fuck is Rapper's Delight by Sugar Hill Gang, but they obviously couldn't play that. Oh, well, they didn't want to pay for it, so they have a watered-down version of that. They have some watered-down version of some classical song, which is weird because that stuff is public domain anyway, but they still kind of aped it really badly through synths.
Leguizamo himself produced half of the songs.
So he's the dude on the, mashing his head on the keyboard as well. I don't know. They did hire people. I mean, to this movie's credit, it doesn't look that cheap with the sets. Then there was money in it.
John Leguizamo wasn't no one at this time. Jeffrey Jones wasn't no one. They had loads of sets and stuff and such.
Yeah,
They had sound. Players Lynch.
Animated menus. Gameplay.
Remember when you used to get DVDs and it would say animated menus,
Oh yeah, and
bonus content?
I mean, for like what the first 2 weeks, the DVDs were a thing that was exciting, but you'd see it for like 15 years after. It's like, well, why? I don't
Why?
care. We've learned that these things are fucking irritating. I can't put this on as I fall asleep because I'm going to be listening to the same 20-second loop of music that's going
Do you want?
inspire nightmares somehow.
Do you want to pick this movie up halfway through? You don't have to fast forward anymore. Just pick a chapter.
Ooh.
Ooh. Yeah. Go on. Yeah.
All right, so boombox off thing.
There's a boombox off.
Yeah, so
There's a dance off, but no one gets out of their car. 'Cause this is
no, I
America.
mean the white boys do some air guitar stuff, and Chubbs and Pest kind of I don't know, bump and
I
grind.
thought his
on
name
the-
was Chups.
Chubbs.
Chups.
No,
Chubbs.
it's Chubbs or Chubb. I know this because I had subtitles on because after the first 5 minutes, I knew this was so embarrassing to be watching. I turned it down and put on subtitles so I wouldn't be busted watching it.
With your knob out.
Oh no, actually, all right. So here the
No,
landlord.
okay, you did have your knob out.
No, it's not quite like that. But my landlord, who lives downstairs, has got
Chewbacca.
yeah, Chewbacca. Got a new cleaner in today, and she was working as I came home, and I was watching this movie. And obviously, I'd sloped into my room without her realizing. So she just kind of the only time I've been here that someone's just brazenly opened the door and just walked in. And it's at the point where Pest and Jeffrey Jones's son, who is
Gay German person.
gay German person, and he's just come back from the first hunt, and he's trying to not seduce him, but he does kind of make an offer of sex, and he's half naked. It's like, hey,
He's not seducing him, Damien. I mean, he says to him, like, I will let you live if you become my boy, huh?
Yeah, but no. Pest is like, well, if you take me back to Miami, we can play Snakey Wakey whenever you want. And he's like, oh.
If we come back to Miami, I'll let you play Snake.
But that is the moment that she kind of walks in, and the subtitles are on as well, Snakey Wakey, and Himmel was the dude's name. He's like, ooh, looking a little taken by it. And Pest is in his pants, and I obviously hit pause, and it's like, yeah, do you mind if I hoover your room? And it's like, oh, well, okay. So she's going through, and I promptly leave, but that's left on the TV, and it's I'm meeting this person for the first time, and it's first impressions aren't looking good.
Take him by the hand and be like, sorry, I'm Damien, I'm the one responsible for the state of the world. Sorry about that.
I mean, I was there in a dressing gown as well. Got my slippers on.
My American friends assure me that dressing gown sounds very posh. They insist it should be robe, which to me is way posher.
Yeah, I was going to follow you on that one. Ooh, a robe. That sounds silken.
I remember ages and ages ago, an American person saying to me when I said the door is ajar, and I'm like, what the fuck? Who do you fucking think you are? A jar? You're a fucking jar.
It's not a jar, it's a
I'm not a jar, baby. I'm wide open. Yeah. There's a dance off.
Yeah, fuck. We will. All right, I think we can call it a day after this because it'll take us like 2 hours to get to the resolution of this one sequence, and there's like 8 of them that we need to talk about.
Yeah, I agree. So the reason I distracted you is I said it's Chubbs, and you said no, it's Chubbs. But was that auto caption? Or not?
Well,
has someone taken the time to translate this, to caption this? Blind people, no, sorry, deaf people need to know. Deaf people need to be able to enjoy Pest. They're missing out. I will take it upon myself to spend the hours needed to write the subtitles for this.
Well, I presume I don't know if they can be done via an AI. They didn't put a lot of effort in one because I had it very quiet, so I didn't. Maybe it is Chups. I didn't hear. But one thing that Pest likes to do is when he suffixes something, With ED, he has to say it like 2 or 3 times. So you can't have something, or it's like I had did it. I haven't lived. I've lived it. And apparently
I didn't wrote it. I
righted it.
Righted it. Excuse me. Sorry.
And that stuff didn't come up on the captions. So someone's not doing their homework, or just realize it's not worth the effort.
Like there's an entire scene where the caption just is "Pest enters."
Every time he'd do like an impression, it wasn't captioned at all. So what you would get, like when he's doing the karaoke as a Japanese businessman, he starts. Some of the words are actually like Japanese. Some of them are like there is
really?
differently like language in there. But I noticed every time there's an impression, it would just come up with whatever ethnicity, indistinct chatter. So Japanese indistinct chatter / language. And
Japanese noises.
Yeah, basically not far off. And I don't know, maybe saving the deaf community or the hard of hearing community a lot of bother there. They did a public service. You don't need to know what he's saying beat for beat. I'm sure by looking, you know that it ain't good.
So you're saying then that you're pretty sure that it is Chubbs and not Chubbs?
Well, I'm going with Chubbs. I think it's a funnier name.
Chubbs? Yeah, but he wasn't chubby in any way.
No, but I thought it was a play on that, you know, the dude always
That
has
he
like
wasn't...
he always has a chub.
But he doesn't... Okay, does he always have a chub?
They never mention it, but they regard themselves as pussy hounds. So he's like, yeah, I'm always semi. That's why my name's Chubbs. Always got a chub. I'm the chub man.
You know, it reminds me. I remember hanging out with my friend who hung around with like a group of lads. They weren't my friends, but I don't know, I spent a night with them one night, and one of them, their nickname was Condom. Right? And they were saying like, oh yeah, my friends, you know, and none of the other guys had nicknames. It was like my friends Dave and Mike and Condom, right? And I was like, Condom, and I met him, and it made sense.
That dude never got
He
laid, but
actually
there was
looked-
just like, you know, there was
No,
one night.
he looked like a condom. He looked like a condom. Like what he did was he looked like a condom that had been unrolled and just sort of like dangled there. You know, like
a wet
not
man.
fully inflated.
God.
Yeah,
I
he was
need-
just a young homeless guy. That was all.
Yeah,
You know?
I
he
require a visual aid. This
And
is
he
too
wore,
harrowing.
He wore I guess it was probably he wore a beanie hat, sort of like Paul Whitehouse.
But pulled
Yeah,
up a little
that
bit, so he
bit's
had a
for the
little like
com.
nib at the top.
Yeah,
Very
that
wide
nib's
neck.
never big enough, is it?
What?
What?
What? I didn't hear you.
I said that nib isn't big enough.
Is it not?
It seems pretty small. Or is it just that like the nib is a little bit extra, and the idea is that like when you do ejaculate into a condom, it like fills it up to the.
You pull out, it's just a balloon hanging from your dick. It's like a
Your
liter
knob
of
is-
jizz in there.
Your knob is just engorged in your own cum for a minute. I better get it out.
It's spilling out and it's done nothing to prevent conception whatsoever.
Did you know that condoms are one size fits all, and the manufacturer of Magnum condoms have said like it's a novelty?
Oh yeah?
Apparently, I mean, I'm sure there are gentlemen who need the Magnum condoms, but not me.
Oh, I saw. So a few months ago, Durex was having a huge marketing push over him, and they've been coming out with these new like,
Whoa!
perfect fit condoms and stuff like that. You have these adverts, and weirdly enough, they just have loads of dudes talking on podcasts. There's one which is like two dudes like looking at each other, talking about condoms, but there's like love in each other's eyes, and it's really kind of. I don't think like this is what you were going for, because they had like video ads where you can see these guys talking, and then and it's in keeping with like their marketing messages and stuff like that. But the still image that they put on the posters is like really sexually charged. I don't think these guys knew that they're going to be immortalized as these presumably very affectionate and tender lovers. So you get these posters, and they're
Tender.
They look. It's a loving look. I imagine they're not going to punish each other with their rough, vigorous,
Roughhousing.
Love making. I don't know. Behind closed doors, they can do it. It's whatever they're partial to. It's fine. But so
Man A said he was hitting me in the back of the head, and I loved it.
Jorex.
Jorex.
But on the bottom of these posters, so
we don't care if you're gay or straight. We're a corporation.
Buy the stuff.
Buy it. Yeah, go on.
So they're talking about various, perfect fits, this, that, and the other. So they're offering them in different sizes. So you have medium, and they had a little like pictograph underneath as well in the form of a circle, and inside the circle there'd be a small circle, kind of highlighting the size, I suppose. You have medium, so it's like a kind of middle-ish circle, and then you have large, which pretty much fills it up. And then you don't have small. They have a word for it. Like I think I forgot it now, but I think it's something like, it's something that's a little something that's not quite as humiliating as it should be. Well, not even should be, but I think they use something like narrow or something like that. But they don't use small. They're very careful not to use the word small.
Right.
And that rather tickles me. Just like the two in the
her.
poster. Oh, very good. Yours was better.
No, I imagine like a very small knob would be an advantage for straight sex with a lady, where it might stimulate the clitoris, which is something I've read about. But who knows?
I come just fine, and that's all I need
wouldn't
to
know because my penis is so big I haven't been able to get an erection without passing out in years.
Every time I try, like the back of my head starts to fold in because the blood has to come from somewhere. It turns out I'm just a blood balloon. I deflate everywhere else.
Call an ambulance.
And I just turn into a large penis with 2 feet.
No, the balls are the feet.
Oh, God.
Like, there's no legs.
So you go around the back, you just see these 2 little leg stumps hanging out the back and an asshole.
I imagine the asshole would be at the very base of it, so it would be like the asshole is in constant touch. I mean, I suppose there could be buttocks on the end of this enormous knob and balls man. Okay, let me ask you this. This is extremely racially insensitive. Do you think it's more sensitive to gays?
Yes, I think actually that was one thing I could kind of note, because they make a point of saying that Himmel is gay. They kind of hinted at first, and they just say it outright
They make a
later.
point of saying that, do they?
Yeah, it's not handled sensitively at all. But the fact that he's gay is not an issue. It doesn't seem to be an issue. So he's a disappointment to his father, because he doesn't want to.
Not really. A bit, but his father tolerates with it. I mean, yeah, I agree. But like for the 90s, his father's like, "Oh, you're such a sissy. Anyway, come and hunt with me, boy."
Yeah, but they seem to have like a strained relationship, and the reason the father is disappointed in him is nothing to do with his lifestyle or whatever. It's just because he doesn't want to murder people.
Gay is fine.
Yeah, gay is fine.
Not murdering people.
Not murdering
dickhead.
people. What a wanker.
Yeah.
So that was odd, considering how.
I wonder if John Leguizamo's
everything
gay.
And sorry.
I said I wonder if John Leguizamo's gay. I don't know anything about him personally, so.
I don't know.
Just wondering.
I mean, that's you. What are you stipulating that's why that was handled like that?
Well, yeah, because I mean, he tries and hits like every race in his criticism. I mean, to a degree, but obviously you've got a gay character, but there's not much made of that. Like maybe it's just at the time in the 90s, it was more or less you're either gay or straight, and why go after one? But there are dozens of races. Ha ha ha! Fuck them all.
I see. It's food for thought, I suppose, but I'm not going to.
And also, let's go down that stereotypical avenue. Why do I think John Leguizamo might be gay? Because he looks after his hair, he looks after his face, and he can dance like a bastard. Like, I thought the dancing where he's on the, like, what is it, like a fucking aircraft carrier at the end, where he's like, well, I can dance like this, and I can dance like this. You can't have poisoned me because I dance like this. His dancing is really good.
That's something I also noticed in this movie, right? Because that shot in particular, and there's a couple of others as well, but you can see they're using a different camera stock. The quality is completely different for some reason. I suspect when I saw that bit, that this penny dropped, that was on a high speed camera that they've just played at normal speed, and that what he was doing there was supposed to be played at at lickety speed to be even funnier than it was. Just a thought.
Right, or it's actually slow motion, and he's like a hummingbird.
Well, potentially.
Yeah.
I don't know. There are too many questions with this movie. All right, I'm going to try and finish off the boombox thing.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Well, being derailed is fine. There's nothing. I'm not saying anything of any note talking about this movie.
Don't worry, dude. We've never said anything of note for the last 75 episodes.
Yeah, it's fine.
Episode 14. We're on episode 14.
I'm sure it is. It's probably. I don't know. All right, boombox is. Oh, why? Why do I care?
It's a dance-off.
It's a dance-off. So they've got this. They have like a Jeep, I think it is, but they obviously have it like tricked out with the super mega fucking subwoofer boombox bullshit. But every time,
hydraulic system.
Yeah. So every time they want to kick it up a notch, there's another lever or button on the car, and it becomes bigger and bigger. You know, unfolds. You have hydraulic pistons lifted off from the axles, and then more speakers come out, and this, that, and the other. Because as it's playing, they're supposed to be getting louder, and they can't do that in the movie. Yeah. So every time they cut back to this car, there's a party around them of people, and they just basically make them smaller every time.
Yeah.
So it's but after a while, they use the same shot. The car hasn't gotten any bigger, but the people have. People have gotten smaller. Sorry. It's just
ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, yeah, and that actually kind of tickled me a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was kind of deliberate or not, but it worked.
Like, this has happened after Pest has escaped his hunter to go clubbing, gets into a very minor altercation with some white dudes, murders them with sound, fair play. And then...
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You would think they were murdered. It looks like that, they were... The blood should have been shooting from their ears.
Yes.
The things that were happening on
if
screen.
there is even existed anymore after exploding like scanners.
Yeah. But they make a point of saying, oh, look, they've fainted. And so it's all
you're
fine. Right. So then they pickpocket
Pest
them.
actually checks one's heartbeat, doesn't he?
Sorry?
I said Pest actually checks one's heartbeat.
Oh, I didn't
make sure
see
he's
that.
still alive.
I didn't see that. But
yeah.
But they were very
Who
clear
owns
to
the
kind
Jeep?
of. I don't know. It's you have the three friends, Pest, Chubbs,
Pest, Chubbs, and Charlie.
And Ninja. Come on,
Ninja,
man.
yeah.
And they all have this car, but it's the ownership is not made clear. I'm just going to say Pest because he's the main character and he'll have all the things. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
But they all take turns driving it. And the first time we see it, he's being picked up, so it looks like it's their car, but then Pest is doing it later, and okay, fine. Doesn't, what does it matter? But yeah. So, yeah, they check that they're still alive, because they should be dead after that. They pickpocket them all this happens in front of the club. They pickpocket them for their tickets into this club in front of the bouncers.
Yep.
And
bouncers like fair play.
Yeah,
dog
fair
eat
play.
dog.
In.
Congratulations, Your Honour. Yeah. And then they go into a club, and then the club has a Scottish person with a kilt in it walking around. Like, they looked at this Scottish dude and they were like, "Oi, no men unaccompanied." "Oh, sorry, madam. Yeah, get in there." And all the Scottish people basically look like not fat bastard.
Yeah, basically.
Which again I think is funny.
Yeah.
Like the Scottish mafia. Like every country has its own mafia.
And like the boss as well. I mean, granted I wasn't listening to it properly, but he kind of cherry picks moments to actually have a Scottish accent. I
Just
felt
like Scottish people.
um,
Have you ever heard two Scottish people talk when you're not there? They sound normal. And then
Queen's English.
Yes, Queen's English. Queen's English.
I quite say, oh, the British chap is coming. Hey, what you doing there, lassie?
Lassie. They go into a nightclub.
They go into a nightclub. They're fucking. They see the mafia dude. Then they turn around. There's another dude in a kilt, and they're trapped. What are they gonna do? So, Pest just hamps the bump shoulders with a Japanese businessman going to the toilet, and he thinks, that's my ticket out of there.
He thinks my favourite game is Hitman. I'll corrupt this dude.
Well, they don't address what happens, but he follows. The dude's going to the bathroom, and Pest's like, all right, clicks his knuckles, walks in behind him. You don't see or hear anything. He just comes out in wearing his suit, putting on a very large pair of spectacles.
So you're saying then that rather than Pest do the traditional thing of follows this dude into, a bathroom, a closet of some kind, knocks him out, takes his clothes, Pest could have been cracking his knuckles to be like, all right, mate, I'm going to give you the best fucking hand job in the world if you give me what you're wearing.
Whatever it was obviously cut. I imagine it was...
Also, yeah.
When there's a scene in Casino Royale where Daniel Craig is he's got a hitman after him. For some reason, they're in the bathroom and put this guy out of commission. He's smashing his face through like toilet urinals and just splinters his skull into a million little pieces. In my head, that's what John Leguizamo is doing.
Right, like it's a horror show in that bathroom. I mean, there's like pieces of skull in the fucking ceiling tiles.
Yeah, because following that, he sits down with Himmel, who doesn't know it's Pest because he's such a master of disguise. And Jeffrey Jones comes in. It's like, I've got to make an escape. But as he's doing that, he's got his hands up while they're saying, "Who's next for karaoke?" So that's it.
Yes.
Pest has to go up and sing. But I imagine with my version of events, it should be that, there's no need for that distraction. As soon as he's up at the screen, he's going, I'm going to sing Bonanza. And that's what you should hear screaming from the bathroom. And then it's just chaos ensues. As you can see the blood starting to kind of bleed out from underneath the bathroom door. There's a man.
You didn't have to just kill that guy. You had to kill the guy in the stall who heard it all as well.
We don't know. We don't know if he's alive. Pest doesn't have his clothes anymore, but it's doubtful he's still wearing them, so perhaps he's taken them off and used them to kind of bound and gag the guy. Who knows?
So you're saying then that for the bit where Pest and Chups are dressed as either rabbis or like Hasidic Jews, you're saying there's two rabbis in the synagogue bathroom that have had their heads caved in.
Like off screen, there's quite a head count in this movie.
There's quite a head count, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, the movie, he obviously has the get up for a waiter at a Chinese restaurant. It's kind of established that he's worked there for a time, but I don't know. He could have just turned up one day. That could be another dude that's got his fucking jaw in two pieces, hanging out of a fucking urinal.
Yeah.
Maybe that's his thing. Because I know, not long after this, he did. Was it Spike Lee or Spike Jones? He did The Summer of Sam as
Spike Lee or Spike Jones.
One of the. Who's more whimsical to direct?
Who's
more whimsical to direct that movie? But yeah, he was the killer in that. So maybe he's just
John Waters.
kind of doing his he's doing the groundwork here. Bit of method.
And then
But he was like, no,
kind
this
of
is really
ends.
good, but I think this is better saved for a different movie. But I like where this is going. I like what I can do now. I feel powerful.
Yeah. When I first watched this movie, I thought that the story was going to be that all the beginning is the same. Pest is recruited, the hunt begins, and then Pest, it's all on an island off Miami where this German dude, Jeffrey Jones, hunts people. I thought it was going to be that Pest is running, through the woods in this, I'm not jungle, I guess, woods, on this island, and then he meets other people and he realizes that the German hunters haven't killed anyone. They've just been removing people from society that they hate, that they can't, like, you're annoying. Oh, I'm going to hunt you. But then they just sort of put them in this reservation.
So they're all living
for
there.
the good of Miami.
Living there like cattle. It's like, it's not bad, but it's not great either.
We're not dead.
3 meals a day. It's like a minimum security prison. It's actually quite luxury. I'm learning how to play tennis properly. My backhand's seriously improved. I haven't seen my wife in 3 years, or my children.
Yeah, you have to live in the forest, but on Wednesdays you can use our tennis court.
We get swimming privileges for an hour on Fridays. It's
Why,
pretty
in
sweet.
the pool or just in the sea?
No, we get to skim it. He likes to shit in his pool a lot for some reason. I think it's a power thing. A lot of this is a power thing.
Would you, if you were going to do that, would you, like, hover your bum over the pool, or would you get into the pool?
Oh, definitely get into the pool.
Why?
I don't know.
Just, why not? Why, if you're going to, like, hover above the pool, you just poo in a...
Well, if you
poo
a high
in a
fiber
toilet.
diet, it's not gonna, you're not gonna mucky yourself. You can kind of, feel the warmth upon its departure, and then just kind of watch it, and bet to yourself if it's gonna sink or float.
There better be a pretty big current if you're not going to soil yourself.
Don't know.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Damien, how's your pool?
Non-existent, of course. It's filled with a lot of wooden perspex. Oh, that's something you wanted me to mention briefly today. For all the fans waiting on bated breath, we have the conclusion to the flush bucket saga. I went back to
Yes,
visit.
we have toilet news.
It's nowhere near as salacious as the previous installments.
Before you start that, can you guess what flavour this is?
Purple
Any
berry.
guesses? Natty Daddy.
What is that?
I was convinced that it
So
was
someone's
a...
ground up father who had a
was
lot of
con-
matted hair.
Well, I was convinced that it was a rip-off of Natural Ice, like a home, home brand, what they call it.
Right. Okay.
But it isn't. It's made by the same people. It's 8%.
Oh, okay. Very
Yeah.
nice. Does it taste like shit?
Not really. Tastes like watered down special brew.
Fair enough, but 8% will do the job. You can definitely sit at a bus stop with that all night.
It's like there's some like bust up cop who's like, "Oi, you! What are you doing? I've been watching you sitting here for 3. Oh, sorry, you've got a special brew. No problem, sir.
We prefer case
That's the
cider.
ID card I need. What about White Stripe? Is it White
All right,
Stripe?
I'm
White
gonna-
Snake?
Oh, it's White Stripe, White Steak, White Lightning.
White Lightning. That was the one we used to get.
Did we ever?
Superior
No,
to
we didn't used
Shasta.
to. That was other people drink. We'd see it a lot, but
I think for your 16th birthday, I bought you a 3-litre bottle of White Snake.
oh maybe. But I seem to remember you took the label off and you put something Shintalo on there or something.
Yeah.
So naturally, now that it's not White Lightning anymore, I'll drink this motherfucker, but I won't share.
I'm so creative.
With
I
your
use my
gift
hair to
giving.
express myself. And that means I shame it. Yes, go on. Toilet news. We've done with the pest, apparently. I mean, we got a fucking hour out of that. That's amazing.
Oh, yeah, no, we can say goodnight right now. Maybe we can, like, tease the next episode. What is this toilet news?
No, the next episode, my friend, is Boss Numpty.
I don't know what that is.
Yes, you do. Think about it.
Boss Numpty.
They call him Boss.
Oh,
Boss
no!
Numpty.
No fucking way am I going near that. I love me fat women.
Yes.
Is that okay?
Oh,
You walked in the room for that?
I do not discuss business over breakfast.
That's the only thing I remember about that movie as well.
Well, the fat women.
It's the fat women line, yeah.
I
She
remember
looked so
we liked
pleased with
it.
him. Oh yeah, no, that was the point with the small man's fucking DVD get up had like the A/B repeat thing on it, which is something that I didn't have on anyway. DVD players, but you could obviously select 2 points to play the movie from, and it would just repeat ad nauseum. And when we would get
Yes.
absolutely fucking launched, it was the best. I seem to remember, was it Trading Places? We
Yes.
had a
Yes.
brilliant
Yes.
time with
Yes.
whatever his fucking face was, just on the
bad
phone.
guy.
Yeah, it's like, hold on, fuck off.
We watched that like 3-second clip for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Hold on. Fuck off. Hold on. Fuck off. I also remember watching The Simpsons where Lisa comes in going, "It's a grand old flag."
Yeah.
She just launches herself into the room. Yeah.
And so, all right, you immediately hit the spacebar like halfway through the first play. She's like, all right, Damon, we're going to have to discuss this because we've just seen something that I know you can't understand as well. Why is she immediately, was she waiting at the door frame for that?
Waiting.
She knew she was on damage control. She'd rehearsed
Yeah.
this number.
Yeah.
All right,
Lisa,
let's watch.
Things go off. I need you to come in and sing me the grand. It's a grand old flag, and yeah.
Oh, great. Now you got the kids singing.
Yeah, that's right.
And she
So
doesn't
yeah,
stop.
next episode 14, will be Boss Numpty.
Oh.
If I can find it.
Well, I mean, it does have a Blu-ray release, but they've just they very sensitively
it?
called it Boss now. They've dropped that entirely, which makes
People don't like the word numpty.
no. It's upsetting.
It's upsetting. Don't want to get raped by a pack of numpties. Fucking Mel Gibson.
Oh well, I'm just going to leave the room for a moment, and yeah,
Don't want to get raped by a pack of dingoes, eh, Mel?
it's got your baby.
It raped your baby.
Then,
Too much?
I don't know. Well, if we keep leaning on numpties, I think we're going to be absolutely fine.
I don't think we should ever not say the word numpty. I mean,
I'm sure by now people have figured out what we're alluding to, so maybe double down.
I bet that guy doesn't like numpties. He seems.
I don't think he likes anyone.
Yeah. Yeah, I also backing off from this goddamn special brew. It's like taking an Ambien and I'm suddenly Roseanne.
I bet I can see you sat there in your shell suit right now.
You think I'm wearing pants? just the top half. Yeah, so before we go on to Boss Numpty, I mean, look, Damien, it's Boss Numpty or it's Woody Woodpecker. Which one do you want? Numpty Woodpecker.
What would happen if we super collided these movies?
Actually, that would be great. If it's Woody Woodpecker and then like 20 minutes in, Boss Numpty arrives to sort the situation out. Like, I'll fucking hunt this fucking Woodpecker for free.
It becomes like Predator after that.
It's Boss Numpty and Tommy Lee Jones from The Fugitive, and they're not having any shit. I men, I need guns, I need tanks, I'm going to need satellite surveillance, I'm going to need 40,000 miles of barbed wire, I'm going to need a cobra snake for a necktie, and so on.
And then we're going to get once they get hold of Woody Woodpecker, we're going to get either the torture scene from Reservoir Dogs or the torture scene from Pulp Fiction.
From Pulp Fiction, yes. I'm going to need a numpty with a pair of pliers and a
But they actually follow through on that. I really want to see them burn off Woody Woodpecker's tiny cock and balls.
like all the test audiences come out like in shell shock, like I approve of the word numpty instead
They
of
all
a
go
racial
in
epithet,
on
but
foot,
I
but they're all
don't
being
approve
wheeled
of the
out.
horrible violence.
Well, he was definitely deserving of it, but it's a little graphic.
I like the way that when we first watched Woody Woodpecker, my personal feelings were, I remember the cartoon, I liked it, I liked Farley, and like 90 minutes later, there is no cartoon character in the world I hate more than Woody Woodpecker.
Yeah, that was it was a hard viewing.
Everybody's heard about the word.
Bird.
I'm a bird.
But don't those teenagers play that in their band? And that's when I seem to remember I seriously checked out.
I don't think they're even teenagers. I think one of them's like 10 years old.
Like the drummer's like 8 years old or something, but the bass player's 14. It was there were a lot of odd things. It's obviously just a cartoon. Oh, pardon me. But I don't know. It was I don't know quite what happened in the room when we sat down and watched it, but I seem to remember you and Christina kind of looked over, and I don't know if I'd said something or you just noticed me like writhing in pain. It's like, this isn't good for you, Damien, is it? It's like, no, this is really where I'm drawing the line at this fucking movie.
Said Christina as I devoutly rewound that bit.
Yeah, of course you did, you cunt.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that it needs more Gary's mod in it, though.
Fine, yeah. Just take the dialogue and build it in Gary's mod. I'll watch that. It's fine.
Build it in Gary's mod, yeah. Yes, that's what my next film will be.
Kickstarter tomorrow.
Yeah, 50 grand.
I'm going big on this one, Damien.
Yeah, Collaborative is just like an art house thing. This is going to be mainstream.
Then after that, it's the MCU for you, but again, with Gary Smart. It's like, this is my thing. I'll do it, but this is my thing.
Proudly using the Gary's mod engine for my CGI. Toilet talk.
It's the Avengers, but all 76 Avengers are just Dr. Breen. And the audio is always clipping.
It's always clipping and always peaking. I would watch those again.
You say that now,
I remember
put them on.
Well, I remember when we watched them and, Idiots of Gary's Mod, which is...
Oh, that was the
for
grand
anyone who
opus.
doesn't know, it was a compilation of it was a compilation of people using Gary's Mod, which is it a video game even?
Kind of. It's from what I understand, somewhat of a middle ground. So it's like a sort of developer sandbox thing. You're given a lot of the assets, and there is a game to play in it, but I think a lot of people realize they can just use it to just make videos out of, and that was his real legacy.
And the Idiots of Gary's Mod compilation 1 and 2 were early-ish YouTube videos, which were utter nonsense and in no way concerned about monetization or people getting views or subscribers. It was just people messing about and having fun. Dreadful as it was, but as you pointed out at the time, like, this has taken quite a lot of organisation for this.
Because the Idiots of Gary's Mod, we'd see loads of these things, and there'd always be like 20-second clips, and I think we were quite taken aback when we found this. because they were both like 15, 20 minutes apart. It's like, oh, it's great because we'd always watch this when we were toasting. It's like, all right, now what do we put on? And those decisions became increasingly more stressful. So we needed something that we could just leave running for a long time. So we saw that, and it's like, oh, this is great. We don't have to move for 15 minutes. I love this, even if it was garbage. But the short clips were all individual creators, but the Idiots of Gary's Mod was like a community that came together to do all this stuff. And it wasn't just like, it's not like an anthology where everyone did their own little bit. They're all like kind of play acting in this virtual world that they were doing. I don't know how, because I've never actually gone into it myself. I don't know how it quite works mechanically, but you can tell that they're recording stuff while other people are online wherever from wherever they are. They're not. No one's in the same room.
Basically, it's sort of like doing voiceover, but you're not like lip syncing or anything. You're playing your own character, like with the WASD keys. It's almost like playing a game, but you're recording it and doing voices. Yeah, I mean, maybe that should be our next big project, is Gary's Mod the Odyssey. Gary's Mod the Omnibus.
It needs a revival. I'm sure the community is perfectly healthy as it is, but we're bringing it back.
The community, yeah. You know, the Team Fortress 2 community is still alive.
Oh yeah?
People are still making shit, yeah.
Well, good for them, I suppose. I know we like the promo materials a lot, but again, never played the game. So.
Well, that was Valve, though. I mean,
of course.
People. Yeah.
But that was, but that was great. Yeah. But they'd obviously released a lot of those assets for those people to use as well. So, it just I don't know. It was a lot to play with. Some of it was funny.
$400,000
to fire this gun for 12 seconds. Oh my God! Who touched Sasha?
So toilet time.
All right. Well, to kind of bookending this one because as we know, it's been very it's been a very tumultuous journey with the toilet there. I saw the old man a couple of weeks ago and went to visit him, see if he's all right. And far from, I go upstairs. First thing I do when I arrive is I need a piss. So I go upstairs, and far from what I expected, which was just to see shit and piss leaking out from underneath the door, I go in. I find a relatively...
Shit and piss room.
Well, that's what it's been known as. I've sort of actually carved it in to the door. But since my dad's eyesight is terrible, he hasn't noticed. And I get my little shits and giggles every time, if you pardon the pun, when I see that.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, I like the idea that, like, when you say carved it in, like, not with like a knife, like you've taken a chisel and it's like a beautiful work
it's
of art.
exquisitely done. I went. I did like I went to an adult learning annex and I studied this. It took me 6 months to kind of get a good handle on the fundamentals, but I wasn't prepared to do this unless I'd done the work. No, I made it count.
You got to do that for every room. Like the kitchen door has to say like food and water, bread and water on it. Shit and piss on the toilet. Sleepy time wanking for your bedroom.
There's shit and piss in the toilet. Shit and piss on the bed. Shit and piss on the couch. Shit and piss in the sink. Shit and piss in the oven. He hasn't found any of these. There's not that much shit and piss. But enough to raise an eyebrow.
Not a lot of shit and piss, just enough shit and piss.
Yeah. Which is not where it should be, in the toilet, traveling away from you very quickly through pipes. So that you never have to acknowledge your terrible, terrible work. The horrible thing that you have just put into the world.
Did you make a shit? Yeah, shame on you.
Show me. I don't believe you. Look, mine's right here. That's the dog's next to it. Mine's bigger. I'm a bigger man than the dog. What do you think of me now, Damien?
This is my feces, teacup poodle for scale.
It's like it's like an American football. Oh my God! How did you do that? Well, it's a bit of a con, Damien. What I've done is I've taken several boos and molded them together. There's no way it would come out in that shape. My asshole isn't that wide. What do you think of me?
Yeah, one of the greatest works of literature.
But I did it all
As
in
I
a
Lay
day.
Dying by Faulkner, when he's talking about it's tapered at the end, he's not talking about a coffin. He's talking about a poop. A perfect poop. So yes, your dad got his toilet fixed at last, and
Yes,
this is
he
worth
did.
mentioning.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say it. Let's get to the point. I was shocked. So I do my business,
But tell us why, because that's funny in itself. Because he didn't get it fixed, did he, Damien?
No, not at all.
Some poor bastard that he knows was like, I fucking had enough of this.
Yeah, my dad has an old friend that comes to visit every now and again, and he works as a plumber. And I don't know how often he comes around, probably once every 6 months, but I know that he's taken it upon himself to kind of do little odd jobs around the house because he's like, man, if I'm going to stay here for a day or two, then I can't tolerate this. My dad lived with a working boiler, central heating for like 5 years in that house. This is in Midlands, England as well, so it gets fucking cold in there during the winter.
So what did he use for heat? Like little heaters or something?
Oh yeah, like space heaters, fan
Space
heaters.
heaters,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
It wasn't just burning styrofoam.
No, well, who fucking knows? But it was one rule for him, one for and another for everyone else. Because I lived there briefly. I went back for like 6 months during that time, and it was autumn, winter while I was there, and I'd have to go to bed like fully dressed in a coat. It was that cold in that house, and he survived quite happily like that for 5 years. But this dude said, "Look, you can't possibly do this. So this is what I do. I'll do it for you. I presume paid for the parts and what have you for the boiler. I don't know, but it got done. It's fine."
God, you can't just pay for a boiler. I mean, those things are expensive.
Yeah. Well, I guess he would have got free labor on it if his friend did it. But yeah, same dude. Years later.
No, but are you saying that the dude, the plumber?
Yeah.
When you say free labor, I mean what you mean? Like he didn't.
I mean,
Yeah, but he.
I think my dad will have paid for like the boiler and the parts and what have you. But
Right.
he will have just installed it for.
But the dude didn't buy. Yeah, the dude didn't buy the boiler.
Oh God, no! I'd be shocked if if my dad got away with that. But I'm sure he would have tried. Same dude. Years later, came round and he saw that. I was like, well, I was going to go for a shit, but the toilet doesn't work. It's like, oh, okay. There's another one just down the corridor, right? And I was like, okay. I tried to go for a shit, and that toilet doesn't work either. And there's one downstairs, isn't there? It's like, try to go for a shit. That toilet doesn't work. What the fuck is going on in this house?
How do you know the toilet doesn't work before you go for a shit?
Very good point.
He knew, didn't he? He knew to test. He's a plumber. He knows.
He's a professional.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe on a previous visit, the pump was starting to go, and he was
No,
like,
because now I've got this vision of this plumber going in, and there's no toilet there. It's like being kicked in. It's just a hole in the ground. It's just like shards of porcelain. Yeah. Anyway, so your dad's friend basically took pity on him and was like, "I'll fix your fucking toilet for you."
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Because I went there, I immediately took a piss, and then I kind of instinctively went to go look for the flush bucket. I'd filled up the basket and then actually went to the thing, and I saw that where the handle used to be has now been replaced with a shiny new big button. I thought, oh, what is this? It's absolutely brand new. It's one of those kind of dual buttons.
There's no feces on this thing.
I know. And for your not low flow, but your half wash for a piss, and then your big wash for a big shit.
Isn't that low flow?
Oh, I don't know the science of toilets, man. How do they work? It's a miracle.
What's low flow? It sounds like a rapper from Florida.
An exceedingly popular one, I would hope.
Yeah, but only in the lowland areas. Like it's got to be.
Well, low flow
borderline
toilets,
swamp,
as I understand them, are supposed to be toilets that operate
use
with
enough
less water for environmentally friendly purposes, but they don't get the job done. From what I've never seen them.
Well, what's wrong with using water? It's something like 98% of water you flush down the toilet gets recycled straight back into the system once it goes through the sewer. Whatever then.
I have no idea. I just know that Greenpeace hates them, and they've made a point of saying
What?
that we
Greenpeace hates low flow water.
No, they don't like the
They hate
regular
normal toilets.
Normal toilets, yeah. So,
Really?
I've no fucking idea. But
Okay. All right.
but someone's obviously marketing low flows as as a green option.
Yeah, like as you were saying, like back in the day when toilets became more normal and you wouldn't have one, in an outhouse in your garden, when they started to become a normal, that you would have a dedicated bathroom in your house. Big Oil came in and were like, I know you only need 3 litres, but make it 4.
Ah, yes, the
Yeah.
toilet lobby.
Also, I think we should flush our turds with oil. The toilet lobby. Big toilet.
Big toilet. You fucker, you beat me.
Sorry.
Yeah, I saw a brand new flushing device, and I thought, oh man, this I'm sure is just a facade. He was like, in my mind, maybe he like bought a new handle for the toilet on Amazon. He thought if he just kind of like sellotaped it on, it would just miraculously work. So I'm going. I just drop the bucket to the floor in complete disbelief, and I try it out, and to my surprise, it actually works like a regular toilet. No hiccuping or anything like that. It just flushes away perfectly. And I am gobsmacked. I go downstairs, and I have to say, well done, Father. And I shake his hand without having washed my hands. Because as much as I respect that he's got it done, but I think, he doesn't deserve a clean hand having left it so long.
I mean, what you should mention to the listener is that you wipe your ass with your hand. Old school.
No, I wipe my ass with whatever socks I'm wearing. I just like to ball them up afterwards for a little while.
Wait, even the cum sock?
Oh, especially multi-purpose.
One for the. Oh God.
I'm not made of money. I don't buy socks every day. For fuck's sake.
So you wipe your ass with a sock, and then do you run?
I wipe my ass with my sock, and my ass gets pregnant. Yes. With my own babies.
Yeah, that's right. It's the circle of life.
I call them my babies, but I just have a really highly infected asshole. It's really swollen now.
The comment about big toilet reminds me of, I was reading an article the other day where I don't even remember what the article was, but it was a bit about something to do with really right-wing people in places in America, like where I live, I guess, sort of, country south places where people are pretty misinformed and say, like, the gays are trying to make my children gay and stuff like this. And they had an interview with someone who was saying that just that there was like a gay conspiracy or some rubbish like that about, putting more gay material into the world, available for the world, like the libraries are promoting gay. And I remember reading one of the comments on this article, and it was saying, I'd love to live in this toilet, Jesus. I'd love to live in this town, I'd love to live in this town in the middle of Bumblefuck America, controlled by Big Gay. And immediately I thought of people buying like rock and roll albums and then getting home and opening it and it's Madonna. Damn! Big Gay again!
Oh, well, we'll quickly double back to Pest then. Oh, we were talking about how the gay stuff.
Before we get that, I also had a vision. Sorry, I also had a vision of 2 really fucking beefy looking dudes, like meeting in a parking lot wearing like trench coats. They both look really straight. They shake hands. It's really masculine. But then at the same time, both their left legs go whoop.
Somewhere in DC.
Fucking Big Gay strikes again. Anyway, yes. Going back to the Pest.
All right, yeah. So we were saying.
What's his name? Pistario?
Oh, I don't know. He says something like that, and then someone asks for his name, and then he just goes off on one, and it's a completely different name. And Pest is fine.
I really fancy some fucking pasta and pesto now.
Well, you do that, my friend. You eat the shit out of that.
Yeah, pesto. That's nice.
So yeah, we were
Optimistic.
saying the gay stuff was
Enthusiastic.
was relatively
Give 'em
sensitive. What? Sorry. Ecclesiastic. did you say?
Larry David tattoo. Do you remember?
Oh no! Tell me again. Tell me again.
Someone,
It's
someone, you shared it with me ages ago. Someone got a pretty good tattoo of Larry David's face on like the back of their calf, and under it, they obviously didn't have enough room to write "Curb Your Enthusiasm." They just wrote "enthusiastic."
yes.
Ugh.
Oh motherfucker! That's thank you. I've forgotten about that.
Yeah, yeah. If you're not enjoying this podcast, you should get drunk too.
Takes the stink out of a lot of things.
It does. It does. Especially driving. Ooh, that's stressful.
All right, so Pest.
I'm in the bathroom, see? I'm washing my nuts, see?
Yeah, well,
Sorry,
he's
go.
definitely washing his nuts because despite all the various shots of him in the shower, there's a lot of foamy suds covering his strategically covering his cock. So he's really obviously going to town on that. I imagine he's fired out a few million tiny little pests just prior to that rap.
Oh, you mean they call him Pest because of his terrible pubic crabs?
Ugh. Man, no, that's, yeah. We don't need to. That's just,
Are you speaking from experience here?
I'm going to laugh and kind of deflect, and then we're going to move on promptly.
Would you rather have like thousands and thousands of pubic lice or just one like Japanese sea crab?
Oh.
You know, like one of those ones that like 3
Would you keep
meters
it as a pet, or does it have to like
No,
kind of
it,
like stand on my on my cock?
oh, well, you keep it as a pet. You know, it can walk around the apartment, but it definitely lives in the pubic area.
All right, so at night it has to sleep on my bush.
So it's basically a dog.
Well, I mean, I suppose during daylight it's going to be it'll be personable, manageable. I'll go with the giant spider crab, please. Or am I keeping
But
like?
depending on the giant spider crab's personality.
Or am I
Is it a friendly giant spider crab?
Or am I keeping the lice as pets? Do I have like a sort of terrarium, all right? And I have to keep these alive. So every week, you know, Sunday evening, I'll shave my pubes and like feed it into the terrarium for
You
them.
don't even need to shave them. You could just get like a nick comb and just brush them off into the.
Well, I keep them in the terrarium, but I assume that crabs just eat pubes, right? That's their food, so I have to keep feeding them. So I grow it out for a week or two, and then it's like, all right.
I don't think they eat pubes, do they?
Of course they don't. No, but
No, I think they eat skin flakes, right?
they slowly eat your penis from the inside out.
Right. or every so often you have to like just crumble a bit of cheese over your knob.
Oh, yeah, give them something else. Otherwise, you're fucked.
Yeah, give them a bit of give them something.
Give them choices. Give them a menu.
Yeah, Ritz cracker. Bit of mayo on the side, on the thigh. Give them a menu. Yeah. So back to Pest.
Back to Pest. What was I saying? All right, yeah. So Himmel is gay, but they give a reason for it as well in the movie. And we were
Yeah,
saying
he
that
likes boys. That means he's gay.
we were saying it was kind of like it's surprising that they don't stereotype that and be kind of more on the nose about it. And they kind of leave it be.
Well, they do stereotype it a bit.
A little bit, but it's a lot more. It's a lot
But it's
lighter.
a lot more
than,
about him being German, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's a lot more
yeah.
like, oh, I am a slightly creepy German, rather than, oh, I'm a big flamboyant gay person from the
Yeah.
90s.
But what they allude to, there's this reason he's gay, Because when he was a young boy, his psycho dad locked him in a room with a boa constrictor. Said, "You can't come out till you've killed the snake." And it's like, "Well, did you?" It's like, "Well, yes, but I was in there for 6 weeks." And there's a line of dialogue saying, like, "Well, that's the reason I have my snake obsession." It's like, "Oh, really?"
Oh, you see, I didn't actually pick up on that. I thought that he was being more literal there, because there is a snake that he has. I thought he...
Oh yeah,
thought he
there's a lot of John Leguizamo's crotch in this movie. That was kind of like odd to watch. He seems to like have another pratfall in the jungle where for some reason he's just in his he's in his knickers again. But
Well, don't you remember that bit in Super Mario Brothers when John Leguizamo and Bob Hoskins are frotaging each other, themselves? It's not gay. I'm just, I'm horny. I haven't had a wank for a few days. Got to relieve myself. Been lost in the sewers for ages.
Yeah, if I don't do this, I'm not going to think
normal.
straight. I'm not going to be working, at optimum capacity now. We have to do this. Get out of the way. Think of it in a purely mechanical way. This is maintenance, nothing sexual. He's oddly, very eloquent in this moment is John Leguizamo.
Yeah, just like the bit where they're getting cold, so John Leguizamo shits in his cap and then puts his cap on his head. That'll be nice and warm for a couple of hours.
I mean, it sounds ludicrous, but I'm sure he's done it in a movie somewhere at some time.
Yeah.
And we'll find the GIF and we'll post it right here. You'll see it on the screen now.
Yeah, so like you say, so that you think they're alluding to that made him gay.
Well, yeah, I mean, his dad talks about it as he mentions the word, like, that's why you have your snake obsession, and I think they made a gag about they previously made a gag about him pursuing his life, writing musicals and being a hairdresser. And he gets caught up in a trap. He's like, "Don't be such a sissy." He's like, "What do you expect? I am a sissy."
I am a sissy.
Okay.
That was their own trap, right?
That was. You were talking
John
about
Leguizamo just had a net.
Yeah, no, that's
from nowhere.
The other potentials for this movie, when he's in the jungle at that point, that's a trap that's seemingly set by the Pest. Because not only do you have that net, you also have that huge log that comes down, and once they have trip like a vine.
Yeah.
To kind of take
really?
them
Because
out.
I thought that was like an old trap that they had set for the previous runner. Oh, right. I see. So I guess at that point then we should have had, don't be such a sissy, son. Oh, I am a sissy. It should have then cut to John Leguizamo with that little penknife that they gave him at the beginning, to make it fair.
Yeah.
He's holding it like knife down, knife coming out of the bottom of his hand. Pushes Jeffrey Jones up against a tree, holds it up to his neck, and I'll give you a pest like you wouldn't believe. And the movie takes this dark turn.
Well, no, I think
it should. Rambo.
She cut to the Pest smearing mud all over his body because they figured out they can only see
Germans can only see heat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Oh, one line I wanted to just bring up when Jeffrey Jones and his assistants are looking for their next mark. They vacate their vehicle upon their entrance into the movie in the middle of some kind of plaza in Miami, and they're both really tall. And Jeffrey Jones looks around and said, "These people are all so teeny." And
So you like him, Jeff?
Yeah, it's like, do I scrub back to see if he's got a bit of a chub on?
Is it difficult watching Jeffrey Jones for you?
So,
I said, is it difficult watching Jeffrey Jones?
Yeah.
For you because of that.
Well, I don't know the extent of his fiddling. From what I understand, he was busted with materials on his computer, but I don't know if he did it actually any diddling.
No, I don't know either, but watching this, I think that the guy is a really good actor, especially a comedic actor, and You know, it would be weird for me to say it's a shame because he's so talented. It's obvious that's not the reason it's a shame. It's a shame because he's a, you know,
Yeah.
hero. But it's very hard to separate. I mean, it's not fucking the filmmaker's fault. It's not Leguizamo's fault. They didn't know.
No, of course not. No.
But
Yeah,
it, you know,
I've seen him in stuff that I really like. That I do kind of revisit every now and again.
I mean,
and he's just there, and it's a bit-
everything I've seen Jeffrey Jones in, I like Jeffrey Jones in it.
Yeah, and he's good in it too.
Yes, exactly.
It's there you go. I don't know what to say about that really, but I wanted to make my. This wasn't really a joke, more of an observation. It seems very inappropriate in hindsight.
Yeah, an observation.
That, sir, is the joke of the episode. Well done.
Well, I guess we're finished talking about the Pest, are we? Unless you've got anything else to say.
Nah, I think I want to go home now.
Yeah, never had anything to say at the beginning. So which
was a bit of a blur.
Yeah.
I kind of try and collect my thoughts after that had finished.
Again, Damien watched this movie 2 hours ago.
Yes. Would I recommend it? Yes, but I just...
Well, the price is right.
Well, no, oh, man, I had to pay for this. Oh.
You're joking.
Oh, no, yeah, over here it wasn't free to watch on Amazon, so I rented it for £2.49. And
It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube for free.
What? Oh, well.
It's on YouTube in like 10 parts. It's actually, each episode is called The Pest Part 1 .wmv.
Okay, well, you've saved a couple
Countless
of people some time and money.
Oh, I'm sorry you had to pay it. Well, I'll Venmo you.
Sure you will.
Sure I will. $2.50. I don't have that sort of money. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
I did it. I
So-
can say I did it. It's fine. It's not so much of a badge of honor, but it's another feather to my cap.
What before we? I guess we're sort of wrapping up now because I can't think of anything to say about the Pest either, other than John Leguizamo, great hair. I guess you wouldn't categorize this as the biggest waste of money that you've ever put into watching a movie. Can you think of what would be?
I seem to remember. Oh, Boondock Saints. I seem to remember was a waste of money.
You spent money on that?
Yeah, I told you. I think I mentioned it as well on the show. Yeah, but no, the first thing I bought, they advertised on Amazon, was not the Boondock Saints at all. Though it's written like that, it was like some kind of like 10-minute promo behind the scenes thing or advert. I can't remember. So I bought that, and then I was.
Oh God!
Yeah. It's like, this is something about the movie. It's like, where's the fuck? I read movie. What? And then I had to go a
Wow.
little bit further in to actually get to the movie, which required another rental.
See, Amazon, they don't do that anymore with movies, just with all of their physical products.
Yes.
I don't know. Do you still use Amazon?
Yeah, every now and
At
again.
all?
Well, I mean, I used it
Yeah.
today. It was the easiest way to
you
get
did?
hold. Yeah, I didn't.
Oh well, the
I
film.
didn't.
Yeah. Sorry.
I do remember you
Bezos
mentioning.
made 2p out of you.
Yeah, I feel. I
Fly
feel
me
foolish.
to the moon. Yeah. Well, do you still use it for actual physical items? And in your experience, are those physical items Chinesium shit? Because I've bought stuff before, like clothing pegs and shit like that just degrade.
No,
I mean, I haven't used Amazon in several years now, and I will try not to.
No, I use it every now and again, but not often. Just when I'm, well, say shopping online. I don't shop down the high street. If I find what I need and it happens to be on Amazon, then so be it. I did have Prime for a long time. I don't have that anymore, simply because I'm, for the most part, not using it. Don't use the Prime Video thing at all. Did for a while, but there's just every time I'd go, I'd look through and be like, oh, that looks interesting. Spend more money. Subscribe to a new channel. Buy this movie. Rent the movie.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what did I...
Or, it went from as well free on Prime to some things are free on Prime that were free on Prime, but some things are free on Prime and you have to watch adverts every 8 minutes.
Yeah.
That's not free.
And so there'd be stuff on Prime that you like put to one side, the set and the other, and they would tell you when it's coming off, and it would come back on as well. So it's not like their license to show something would run out. They would just cherry pick times to put it on for free. Because I would go through like a watch list, and it's like, all right, well, I couldn't watch that before, but now I suddenly can, and I could watch that before, but didn't, and now I can't. And then maybe I'll check back in a week, and so I just got really bored of it.
Fair enough. Just wondering. That's who our sponsors are this episode, guys. Fuck Amazon and Nasty Daddy. Nasty Daddy's only £300 an hour. £300 a square fucking inch.
Ooh.
Hubba hubba. Well, are we done?
We are done.
All right. Well, thanks very much for listening, guys. The next episode may or may not be, boss.
Yeah, maybe.
If I can even get it.
Yeah, I don't want to look for it.
White Man's Law. Numpty's Town.
Yeah, a lot of pulled punches in that episode, I think. It's like, well, we won't. We're going to step back from that.
Will we what? Just don't say the word and we can, everything's fine.
Yeah, I don't think, like, supplanting it with a different word and then using that as liberally is going to get us off the hook.
I'm not calling people numpties or anything like that. It's the name of the fucking film. I mean... But I guess numpty is something that also does exist and doesn't mean that, so there's a sort of ambiguous crossover where you say, what a numpty? What?
Yeah, no, I think you've definitely
When
spoiled
numpty
the
becomes
word
racist now.
numpty for me. I don't think I can kind of use that with a good conscience ever again.
Yeah. Well, never mind. Well, anyway, thanks for listening, I guess. If you've chosen to do so. If you didn't listen to this by choice, your insane significant other or abuser chose to blast this into your ear holes, fuck you, I suppose. But probably not. Whatever. Don't care.
I see. Well, that's good night, is it not? End it. Hockhack.
Bye.